Well, this wasn't a particularly entertaining day. Well, this was a particularly entertaining day if you were, watching the Hyperliquid saga, but it wasn't a particularly great day if you were a major Hyperliquid bag holder. So, so the question really is, how real is the Hyperliquid story, and to what extent? So obviously, Jeff and the team have shipped something extraordinary. They executed it in a way that it's quite different from how most crypto teams operate. So, I have to say, did a pretty good job of shipping an on-chain exchange that delivers the almost as good UX as a centralized exchange. You could argue that to some extent it is a centralized exchange, right? So yeah, yo, man, it is sort of a centralized exchange. There's a bunch of these validators that are sitting in one collocation in Japan, uh, and so even physically, because to deliver this low latency and high quality risk engine, Hyperliquid guys have had to fairly centralize it, not just economically, but also geographically. The airdrop was fantastic. I think it built a cult. It went up and up only with this digital asset treasury and a bunch of I think early traders essentially evangelizing it on Twitter. It's been one hell of a story, but I think now. I think this weekend what happened is that CZ and personally almost shelled a competitor, and yeah, so CZ shelled a competitor, and it kind of did really well. The token did really well because everyone kind of FOMOed in, right? Because CZ is endorsing token, there must be something going on. I mean, big man, and BNB has been going up. Um, so yeah, so I think what the scary part of this, it's not so much Dex on its own that is a threat to Hyperliquid, but the fragmentation of perpetual's liquidity, because now people are going to start to wonder. Uh, Now people are going to really start to wonder if they should be, is Hyperliquid like previous perp dexes, in the sense, there is almost every cycle there is a every couple of years there's a perp dex that people make a big fuss about. GMX, was really really hot. No one remembers it anymore. Hey, so DYDX was king for a very long time. It's like what Polymarket is today. DYDX was huge, and I think it's kind of lost most of its volume now to Hyperliquid. So because of the nature of the perps business, perp dexes are usually like farms for traders. I think delivers almost as good a risk engine and UX as anything centralized exchanges can offer. So there has been obviously a lot of bullish vibes around Hyperliquid. Arthur Hayes and others really shelled it very very hard. It's built a very strong cult following. Now I think the challenge is people are going to start to sort of look at the people who missed out on Hyperliquid are going to start to look at Lighter, Aster, CZ's, Justin Sun's perp deck. Some of them are serious, some of them are not, right? And they're going to say, all right, should we be farming this stuff? So and is Hyperliquid as really as big a winner as it's being made out to be? And with these James Wynn liquidations, also with the, I think we saw the native stablecoin drama around Hyperliquid. It's still an incredible product. The Perpdex, the EVM, the app. I'm a little bit less convinced about the general purpose L1 story, although it's building a really nice ecosystem. But there are like there's an Aave fork on there. There are a couple of dexes. Uh, then there are other people building on top of Hyperliquid. To be fair, they've been the community has been doing a great job of starting to build an early ecosystem. But I think, and this doesn't really threaten all of that, but I think it just creates because the mainstay of the business of the buyback story is still everyone kind of using the perp dex. The L1 story is kind of a follow on, and it's still a little bit unconvincing. So if the volume fragments and liquidity tends to be centralizing, liquidity tends to get centralized in markets, all markets across the world. Then the question is, is Hyperliquid a winner? Is it a done deal? And Arthur Hayes sold like 96,000 hype after shilling that at Web Summit a month ago. That Hyperliquid, the hype token will 126x. I think it's a little bit of a spot of bother, because the ecosystem is still early. I mean, it's an Ethereum virtual machine, so people who can build on a complex kind of structure, right, where the perp dex connects to the chain through some core writer API. There have been some really cool financial innovations like this, builder codes and things like that. So I think in terms of community building and incentivization, Hyperliquid has done a fantastic job. But right, I mean the mainstay is still the traders and market makers that trade on there. If that liquidity starts to fragment, and it does seem to be have started to fragment, and if this continues, then I think there is Hyperliquid could have some real problems. So I mean, we'll see how this plays out. But I think a bunch of people in trader chats have been de-risking. Obviously early like three airdrop recipients and $3 Hyperliquid buyers are obviously very bullish. It's kind of they have to be bullish, but a lot of traders who have come in later, I think, are really going to be farming other. Lighter is a pretty good dex. I've used it. Aster will start to work. There are many issues with Aster today, but when a token does that well, and this story is by far not over yet. There's been a pullback, but everything has a pullback when people are like 10x profitable or 15x profitable. So yeah, I'm not a trader, but I've been watching this drama very, very closely. It's a fantastic, fantastic story, almost cinema, right? And but what this means is that I think a lot of people will have doubts about the Hyperliquid story that they didn't have before. I think after the stablecoin bidding drama, where I think the Hyperliquid insiders and community kind of won the bid, and how USDC announced investment, Circle announced investment, all of those things. So the last couple of weeks have been incredible for Hyperliquid. This weekend is a little bit less so. I think the trend is still very favorable, but I think a lot of people will be de-risking. It's kind of my view. Doesn't really affect Hyperliquid in the short term, I think, but they do. If no one else ships a DEX as good before Hyperliquid has had a chance to solidify network effects, then I think Hyperliquid will be a runaway train. But it's already a runaway train. It's 15x from the airdrop. So yeah, I think Q4 is going to be fascinating, and I think we finally saw a coin that lasted for more than 17 seconds, as Thread Guy was saying. You know, it's interesting times ahead. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'm gonna go to sleep. But enjoy your week ahead, and I think it's gonna be fascinating. It's this is a really good business.